Hi everyone, welcome back to the Purple Broom Apothecary. Welcome back to the Purple Broom Apothecary Presents. I am Natalie and I am here today to do the Saturday Sling. Now what I am doing for the Saturday Sling is I am using the Anima Mundi deck by Megan Weirweeden or Wireweeden. Love her name. But this is a new deck that I actually got from Kickstarter. I backed it on Kickstarter, and I fell in love with the images that I saw online for the Kickstarter, and just I had to back it. And I was not disappointed. I did a reveal video on this deck, so if you're interested in that, go ahead and take a look at that. But I really like the images on the cards. I like the fact that the backs of the cards, it's the same, so it doesn't matter which way you do it. I don't necessarily read reversals, but sometimes it may make a play in my reading depending on the type of reading that I'm doing. So I appreciate the fact that I don't know if it's going to be reversed or not when I turn it over, like this one here. Now, this, as you might imagine, the Anima Mundi deck deals with animalistic themes, and I absolutely love animals, so it's very animos in its nature, which I just adore. And by the way, I just saw the image here. This image was one of the ones that was on Facebook on the ad for the Kickstarter that I saw, and that's what made me buy this deck. I was so happy to back it. The cards are flexible, easy to shuffle. They have a beautiful gold trim, but anyway, I cover all that in the reveal video. So what I'm going to do today is pull a card for this next week and see what awaits us this week, or themes that we should be looking for, what's out there for the world as a whole. So let's take a look. I'm not one of those people that can do the shuffle. I kind of wish I could. I have to do the old-fashioned, take your knuckles and hold it down and, and then bridge it. That's me. That's me. So, okay. So our card for the week is the Two of Swords. Bum, bum, bum. Okay, so Two of Swords. Now, I do find this interesting because of all the cards in this deck, this one has no animals on it. Now that I've said that this is a deck that's focused on animals, I pulled the card with no animals. Two of Swords. For those of you that are familiar or experienced card slingers, I'm sure you have your own interpretation. For me, the Two of Swords, twos always indicate choices for me. So swords also tend to be those things that are challenging to us. What I would think that this card would mean, what my interpretation of this card is that we may be facing a choice that's very difficult. We're having to choose between either the worst of two things, the best of two things, things that two really bad choices, sort of like the last election. Pick your poison kind of situation is really what I get from this. Now, the white cloth might indicate that we may need to do some surrendering in order to make this decision, that there may be something we have to give up regardless of the decision that we make, or in order for the best choice to be made, we may have to give up something of our own. We have to surrender something. So what do you do in a situation like that? Well, you look to the light, and to me, the moon indicates the light. We tend to overlook that there's light in the darkness, okay? And we cannot appreciate the darkness without the light. We can't appreciate the light without the darkness. That we have to make these choices because they're what allow us to grow as a human being and to grow in our experience, in the human experience. Another thing that the moon indicates to me is because it is a sign of the goddess. It is a sign that we have a mother to turn to. When you are in deep trouble, you turn to your mother. You call her up at 5 o'clock in the morning and you ask for her advice, and then you don't listen to it. But this card indicates to me that we may need to turn to the goddess in that darkest of times to seek her light and her wisdom, that she has much to offer us, but that she's not going to give us the full story. She's going to allow us to make the choice on our own, and that sacrifice may be a part of that choice. We may have to surrender something in order for the greater good to be realized. And so that is what this card signifies to me. And so be looking out for those tough choices. Life's full of tough choices, isn't it? So keep that in mind as you plow through this next week. Do the best that you can and be willing to make the choice that's going to be best for the greater whole as well as for yourself. Thank you so much for watching Saturday Sling. I hope that you all have a beautiful week. Blessed be.